Darrell just spoke to Nathan Smith, talked a lot about the need to reset, keep going again. I suppose that's been the key thing this week, hasn't it? Just get reset and get back on the horse.
Yeah, there's a consistency about our work that I've stressed all along. We look back at the game, what we did good, what we did bad, what we could have done a lot better at. But I genuinely think if you play that game 9 times out of 10, you win it. So I'm not going to be too critical of everybody, and we move on.
You said when you were on the winning streak, important not to get carried away, but I suppose as well from defeats, it's also not to get too down over the defeats as well.
No, but it's also feel the pain. Like I said, after the game, we won our last 2 games in injury time, and sometimes a bit of calm and a bit of medicine to take, and that's what we've done. While looking back at what we could have done a lot better at, but we played some cracking football at times, scored some good goals. And then it's about the response at 3 o'clock Saturday.
Yeah. But like you say, it is about assessing, and I know you great pains to make that about assessing the things. What did you see there that you perhaps think now you could improve on?
It's quite simple. We didn't defend the ball in our box enough. It's a simple analogue of the game. The ball's coming in our box. Disappointed we had to bring Proc off with an injury. To be honest with you, might have helped that. So. It was one of those games where I think we've defended our box particularly well in a lot of games this season. On this occasion we didn't, but then they've scored a deflection, there's an own goal, there's a foul, it's our throw in leading to that. I think it's a foul when they throw the ball, the lad backs into Smith, he goes over the top. So while also analysing we've got to do better with the balls that are coming in our box on another day, those decisions go in our favour as well. So I tried not to overanalyse it, if I'm honest with you, because like I say, I still believe, having watched the game back, you play that game 9 times out of 10, you win it.
Has Jamie Proctor really become integral to the way you play now as well? I've been looking at stats about his shots and games per goal and everything now. How important a player is he to you?
They all are, not just Jamie Proctor. I keep saying this to you, and it's great that Jamie's getting applauded. He started his career at Port Vale excellent, which is great. He's a great lad, he's a model pro. We knew what was bringing into the building. We didn't, he hasn't had that great goal scoring record over the last few years. I've discussed that before, that we try and bring players that have the potential of scoring 20 goals. He is one of them, Wilson's one of them, Devante Rodney's one of those. So he started really well, but there's a lot of players doing some great work. I think James Wilson's been outstanding. He's got some good technical players. They're getting deliveries in the box to suit his game as well. And Jamie will be the first one to say, we are a team, we're a collective effort as a squad. But rightly so, he's getting the plaudits he deserves.
When you talked about having the players to step up who've been playing the reserve games and been doing well, but you've had a winning team, how easy or difficult is it to integrate them then when you've had a defeat and you might need to disappoint some lads who've been doing well?
It's football management, isn't it? Like I said to the whole group, we win together as a group and we lose together as a group. That's what we do. We had another reserve game in midweek, keeping the match minutes up, and we've got a bit of injuries in the camp, which can happen. Contact injuries, which you can't do anything about as a manager. But that's why we have these games. That's why we're players, when they come in, can they take that opportunity? And there might be 1 or 2 looking to take that opportunity Saturday.
And again, not wishing to pick your brains over much though. But I suppose when you come off the back of a defeat, is it the natural thing in your mind to make changes, or do you just take the game as it is and in its isolation?
Just because we've been winning games, the team's been picked for different reasons, and of course there's winning games. But just because we was on that winning run doesn't mean that the team's never going to change after we win a game. It's going to be the same team. Likewise, if we lose a game, so. The proof will be in the pudding on Saturday of how we think's the best to try and beat Barrow, and then we move straight on to Tuesday night's game. That's how it's worked on. As it happens, over the course of the last 4 games, the team's been pretty consistent. The performances have been very good, because you can win a game by not playing well. Does that mean you don't change it? You still look to change it, potentially, because it's on performance. As it happens in the run, I thought the performance had been very good.
Just to update us with a couple of things. You talked about Jamie Proctor coming off. Leon Legg, I noticed, had talked about having the brace come off his knee. How are they looking then, can you say?
Yeah, no, the leg is progressing nicely. We'll see how Jamie is for the weekend.
In terms of the weekend, then Barrow come here off the back of a couple of decent away results and try and set themselves up not to concede goals, from what I've read. What does that play into the way you prepare?
Yeah, I think you've read wrong, if I'm honest with you. Watching the games back, they've got fluidity and they're attacking. Coops is a fantastic manager at the level, knows what the league's all about. Will be a threat. Like I said, have some good runs. The league's very, 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 very tight. And expect it to be a typical tough League 2 encounter.
You know Josh Gordon well from his time at Walsall, who's scored a couple of decent goals there as well. Does that help when you come in to prepare?
Listen, Josh's game hasn't really changed over the last 2-3 years. He's a hard-working centre forward, works very hard for the team. He's a great lad, good kid. You know, one of many players of Barrow that we need to be wary of. But I'm sure they're saying the same thing about ourselves. They'll be respectful of ourselves, and hopefully it sets up to be a good game.